I'm Dane. I just wanted to say how happy I was to hear you talk about the internet and globalization and relate it to traditional concept of liberal arts education, because it's changed a lot of the ways that American culture is projected throughout the globe. I have kind of a two-part question. In relation to American culture being projected across the globe, it's arguably stronger than ever with, a lot of the companies you mentioned, just Facebook, the platforms, music, you mentioned America having a very vibrant culture. Do you find that inevitably tied to as a society, having embraced a liberal arts education? And the second part of that question is, with the internet and globalization, almost democratizing education for almost the entire world and kind of providing a huge political awakening throughout the world, do you find that liberal arts education is something that can be viable for even larger population of people that previously did not have access to it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know how large a number of people, I'll take the second part first, how many people should have access to this. I certainly think as many as wanted should, and I think that it would be a tragedy if it's cost that makes people not embrace something they love, because you're going to do well at something you love, you're going to excel in it, you're going to find opportunities in it. And that piece of it, I do think I would like to see it expanded. I particularly think, I was a trustee at Yale, and I have to confess, as these universities get larger and larger endowments and have the same number of students, I feel that there should be some more moral soul searching going on. When I was at the trustee at Yale, we managed to expand Yale by 15%, which was the largest expansion that had taken place since the introduction of women 45 years ago. In that period, Yale's endowment had gone from roughly $2 billion to $25 billion for the same number of students. That pattern, by the way, is true of all the major universities. Same number of students, and the endowment has gone up in some cases tenfold, in some cases 15-fold. And so I certainly, now on your first question, yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting question to ask yourself, whose culture spreads, whose culture has some currency around the world. And one's tendency is to imagine, well, the United States spread because it's so rich, so powerful, it's the world's superpower. There's something to that. But what's interesting is the second richest country in the world, China, has not had much ability to do that. The third richest country in the world, Japan, has not had much ability to do that. Germany, which is sort of tied with Japan, maybe a little bit more. The ones that have, by and large, are actually more the small northern European countries, or France with its, so what is it? I think that you do have to have the ability to tell stories, to create culture that other people find interesting and attractive. And the United States has been particularly successful at creating mass culture. I don't think the United States will go down in history for its great operas, but I think that the movie or television shows, and you see this when you go to, when I go to India, what I'm struck by is you watch Indian television and you can almost you can say, oh yeah, that's Friends that has been translated into an Indian context. That's How I Met Your Mother translated into an Indian context. That's Modern Family translated into an Indian context. And that's because there are these great storytelling skills that I think Americans have that have allowed it, and others, Britain, France, as I say, to do very well. And it would be, there will be an interesting battle, which is these countries are developing their own indigenous storytelling, where they adopt many of the forms, and they copy to a certain extent from the United States. But then the United States moves one step forward, and then they find themselves, So there is this interesting race, and in my view, at the end of the day, people benefit from that kind of cultural competition. So.
Hi there, Dr. Zakaria. Thank you so much.